It's a secure, reliable service. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate robust capabilities. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data. With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many thousands face the same challenges every day and solve them with Globus. So what's Globus? So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate robust capabilities. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data. With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus. So how can you get started using Globus? Anyone can use Globus right now for free to transfer files between Globus-enabled systems. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate robust capabilities. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data. With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many thousands face the same challenges every day and solve them with Globus. So what's Globus? So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate robust capabilities. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. And if the data is sensitive, no problem. Globus can be used to manage protected data. With Globus, you can easily share your data without having to move it or copy it. With Globus, subscribers can easily move and share. And if you have any more questions about Globus, visit Globus. So how can you get started using Globus? Anyone can use Globus right now for free to transfer files between Globus-enabled systems. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. More than 150,000 registered users rely on Globus. So what's Globus? It's a secure, reliable service. With the Globus platform, you can easily incorporate
DJ Cumberbund.
This speech is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock around. That's right. On time. It's tricky. Here we go. It's tricky to rock around. To rock around. That's right. On time. It's tricky. Ooh, yeah. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky to rock around. To rock around. That's right. On time. It's tricky. Yeah. Tricky. I met this little girlie. Her hair was kind of curly. Went to her house and bust her out. I had to leave real early. These girls are really sleazy. All they just say is please me or spend some time and rock a rhyme. I said it's not that easy. In New York, the people talking try to make us rhyme. They really hawk, but we just walk because we have no time. And in the city, it's a pity cause we just can't hide. Yo, tinted windows don't mean nothing. They know who's inside. Yeah. It's tricky to rock around. To rock around. That's right. On time it's tricky. Tricky.
don't think I can stop being spunky. Yeah.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking. Watching X-Files with no lights on, with all amaze on. Oh, the smoky man's in this one like Harrison Ford. I'm getting frantic. Let's sing 'em 10 trick. Fix me 'cause guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kurosawa, I make mad films. Okay, I don't make films, but if I did, they'd have a samurai. Gonna get us in a better clubs, gonna find the kind of tiny nubs so my eyes are always flying up the backswing. Gonna get into the Sailor Moon 'cause the cartoons got the boom anime babes to make me think the wrong thing. I can't help it if I think you're funny when you're mad. Trying hard not to smile, though I feel bad. I'm the kind of girl who laughs at the funeral. I have a history of losing my shirt. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Dropped your arms to the sides and said I'm sorry. 5 days since I laughed at you and said you just did just what I thought you were gonna do. 3 days since the living room. We realized we both to blame, but what did we do? Yesterday, you just smiled at me, 'cause it'll still be 2 days till we say we're sorry.
It's tricky to rock a rap, to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time is tricky. What we said. Tricky, 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 tricky. It's tricky to rock a rap, to rock a rhyme. That's right, on time is tricky. Tricky, 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 tricky. I'm not done. We know you wrong, but you assume on your own. They offer coke, ain't lots of dope, but we just leave it alone. It's like that, y'all, but we don't quit. To keep on, 5 shot, 'cause this is it.
The fuck? Why am I on there?
Face covered in some barbecue sauce, all dressed up like a drunk Santa Claus. And if I see one more rich person getting a car, I'm about to burn that motherfucker's garage. It's Christmas! My family creepy as it gets. Grandpa kissed me on the lips. Fuck you, it's Christmas! I don't wanna hold your kid. That's some scary fucking shit. Fuck you, it's Christmas! All through the night, little spoiled ass kids dream about what they might get. All through the night I contemplate about which blunt I might hit. Lickety split. All through the night I congratulate my sister on becoming a vegan. All through the night I ponder about an excuse to leave for the Legion. My uncle bragging that this his last D-dub. I'll let that plate pass me up. That fool look nasty as fuck. Wow, non-stop, giving advice, right, like your life ain't broken. Wow, thank you for pressuring marriage in front of my girlfriend. Still can't tell my nephews apart. My stepfather thinks he's in charge. And if I see one more rich person getting a car, I'm about to burn that motherfucker's garage. It's Christmas! My family creepy as it gets. Grandpa kissed me on the lips. Fuck you, it's Christmas! I don't wanna hold your kid. That's some scary fucking shit. Fuck you, it's Christmas! Real quick, I didn't get nobody shit. I don't wanna talk politics. Yes, I know I've gotten big. Who the fuck is that little kid? Who's taking shots in the kitchen? I'm down to assist. I don't want to sit next to Uncle, he smell. You got diabetes this year, I can tell. Look up the location of nearest hotel. Somebody help. Somebody help me before they start karaoke. Oh no, here go hokey pokey. I think I need little smoky ho ho. My mama wanna wash my mouth out with soapy. I'm brown out drunk on the low key. Somebody throw me a floaty ho ho. Face covered in some barbecue sauce, all dressed up like a drunk Santa Claus. And if I see one more rich person getting a car, I'm about to burn that motherfucker's garage. It's Christmas! My family creepy as it gets. Grandpa kissed me on the lips. Fuck you, it's Christmas! I don't wanna hold your kid. That's some scary fucking shit. Fuck you, it's Christmas! If you'd rather leave your family and go kick it with your friends, say fuck you, it's Christmas! If you'd rather keep your money than go out and overspend, say fuck you, it's Christmas! Hey, if you know anybody between the ages of 3 and 12, play a song for them, you know what I mean? Make sure they hear this. The harsh realities of the world, they need to be aware of that, you know what I mean? Santa Claus is real, though. Santa Claus is real, though.
Yo. Yo. Yo, 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 yo. What up, though? Look. New chair. New to me. Got a place I could put my head. Oh. It is comfortable as shit. I had to replace whatever this metal thing is that like the rod goes into, that you like lock it in place, and like it's got the tension knob on there. The thing between the bottom of the chair and the piston on the rolly bit. I had to replace that, but hell yes. Hell yes. No, I don't even have to support my own head. We ballin'. We ballin'. So, let me go ahead and do this thing real quick. Do. Fuck you, it's Christmas. In case I forget by the end of the episode, happy whatever it is you're having. Or if you're not having. What up, Prof? Prof has been on one lately. I love you too. How you doing? You good? So it's cold as fuck. It is 5 degrees outside. 5. Cinco. Unacceptable. And then, because of the wind, it's negative 20. Negative 20. You ran out of numbers and started counting out. Like, are you... What up, Cody? Are you alright? Like, when you say you're freezing to death, you're speaking metaphorically, right? I don't do well with winter on the regular, right? If something happens that once it turns into like the cold, it gets into my bones and it just lives there. It doesn't matter, I could put on layers and everything else. I'm cold forever. Thimble winter until spring. I hate the world until spring. Just moved back here to Virginia from Arizona. I haven't experienced this in 5+ years. Oh, well, you picked a hell of a year for it, right? Like another bomb cyclone and a Siberian Express and all that good shit. All right, let's start with the last of the tweets. There was one more we didn't look at, so we'll look at that one. So this person in Reddit, this is how AI art has changed my life, and it will yours too. I love it. All I will say is AI art has changed my life. It has given me the power to make all the things I have ever wanted without having to hire artists or writers. I am the boss at all times, and what I want and how I want it made gets done. I'm using AI to help me write my books with ChatGPT and creating all the artworks for it with Stable Diffusion. I'm creating my own t-shirt designs, prints, illustrations, stickers, children's books. The beauty of all this AI power is no one even knows that AI made it because I can run it all on my local machine. I realized very quickly that the general public is too busy on TikTok to even know how I make my art right now. Excuse me, one moment. I just know how to use and make AI art in such a way that it's not possible to tell whose style I am using. It is using. It always comes across my style with my true and tested secret prompts. I love Stable Diffusion. It has made all of my dreams come true. This is the greatest creation to ever come into my life. Oh, and my friends are blown away with my artistic ability and how much I can create their likenesses in art. I am having so much fun. My art portfolio is grown by leaps and bounds. I am planning to go to my first comic book convention where I will be selling my own fantastic AI art and books. It will have my name on it only, and it will never say AI art. This is the power of AI art. I love it. This was retweeted or tweeted by Michelle Jing Chan. I don't even know what to say about this. Okay, and there's obviously highlighted bits, right? And this is like, this is another lesson on like communication, right? It has given me the power to make all the things I have ever wanted without having to hire artists or writers. Now, this is going to come off bad to most people, you know. It has given me the power to make all the things I ever wanted, period. Just leave it there, right? The beauty of all this AI power is no one even knows that AI made it because I can run it all on my local machine. I don't understand what that, like, what's negative about that. I just know how to use and make AI art in such a way that it's not possible to tell whose style it's using. Now you're using language, again, that's going to come across as negative based on the language that you're using. My art portfolio has grown by leaps and bounds. I am planning to go to my first comic convention where I will be selling my own fantastic AI art and books. It will have my name on it only, and it will never say AI art. Like, again, I mean, especially if you're not a comic book person, then you might not understand how much digital is taken over. I mean, it dominates the comic book industry now, right? Like, it's not as hand drawn as it used to be. And there are tremendous advantages to doing it that way. Now, most artists who work in the field still like hand draw their sketches and everything. But a lot of finishing touches are done, you know, with digital machines and things like that. And some of them don't even list an artist. They list like an artist house. I don't have an example offhand. Just, you're going to have to trust me on this, because I read and have read a lot of comic books. And it's never like, unless you look at the author, you know, the writer and the artist and the inker and all that information, you wouldn't even know that that's what they were doing, right? You would just read the story and enjoy the art. So, you know, it's like, it's one of those things where people have very strong opinions on it because of the tool that was used to make it. So, here's an article from 2012. The National Gallery of London, the world's fourth most visited art museum, is currently holding its first major exhibition on photography, titled Seduced by Art, Photography Past and Present. Andrew Graham Dixon of The Telegraph has published a review of the show and has some strong opinions on photography's place in artwork. The truth is that very few photographers have ever produced images with the weight of thought and feeling found in the greatest paintings. The camera is certainly an artistic tool, and photos can certainly be works of art, but can they be works of art of the same order as paintings? Modern critical orthodoxy would say yes, but the real answer is no. Photography lacks the depth and heft, the thinking sense of touch that painting possesses. This is why the greatest images of the last 150 years, the images people argue about, contest, return to again and again, are not photographs, but paintings. So, I mean, that's a similar vibe, right? I'm still sliding down, though. You know, this is a similar vibe to what we're talking about here. That the AI as a tool of creation is somehow not on the same level as whatever method of creation you determine is on the same level, right? Like, I imagine, I could be wrong, but Andrew Graham Dixon, his opinions on digital art, digital painting, would also indicate that painting is superior to digital painting, right? Even if you could mimic all the things that painting, like brush strokes and everything else, with a digital tool, because it's digital, it is not on the same level. So, this was interesting. AI created comic could be deemed ineligible for copyright protection. The United States Copyright Office has initiated a proceeding to reverse an earlier decision to grant a copyright to a comic book that was created using AI art, and announced that while the copyright will still be in effect until the proceeding is completed and the filer for the copyright has a chance to respond to the proceeding, copyrighted works must be created by humans to gain official copyright protection. In September, Chris Castanova announced that they had received a U.S. copyright on his book, Zarya of the Dawn, a comic book inspired by their late grandmother that she created with the text-to-image engine Midjourney. Castanova referred to herself as a prompt engineer and explained at the time that she went to get the copyright so that she could make a case that we do own copyright when we make something using AI. What is AI art? What happened with the copyright? We've already covered that. So, you know, it's happening. We're discussing where, you know, copyright starts and ends, who is entitled, who is not. Oh, we did that. We did that. Here's a random thing. Unrelated to anything we've been talking about.
Men. We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
We're playing for HTQ a little bit later on. So if you'd like to play HTQ, email C with your C at bbc.co.uk.
Oh, you do it. Do get permission and leave your phone number because by jingo, it'll be worse than this if you don't. Oh, you're just kidding. You love this.
And this is a meme, and I still don't get it. So, I just need to put it in your head as well that it exists. No. We did that. And okay, so we're going to be taking a look at there's a writer, an author, Aaron Dembo. If you've ever played the video game Homeworld, with the fleets and shit, that Aaron Dembo contributed to that. Kaiju a Go-Go. The book that I got over here, The Deacon's Tale. We met during when I was reviewing board games. They had a board game that they wanted me to review, and I reviewed it, and it was good. It was like I want to say like a dungeon, kind of like a dungeon crawler. The name escapes me. Hold on one moment. Aaron demo board. No. Here it is, The Pit. You know, you would go in and you would do the things and you would fight the monsters and get equipment and like that. And it was cool. And we maintain acquaintance on Facebook, and they recently got into talking about AI and like that. So we're just going to dive right in here. Most people who have been following my social media this year are aware that I have been experimenting with Midjourney, one of the more popular and accessible AI art generators. Unlike the majority of casual users who log into Discord to enter a few free prompts into the new art toy and lose interest within 15 minutes, I actually have experience with AI development projects. I've worked on 2 of them, and I'm interested in AI ethics. In fact, I was interviewed for a course in AI ethics at Athos Bexa University. I immediately recognized that AI art tech had the potential to be immensely powerful, but also immensely disruptive. So I decided to pay for my Midjourney account and dedicated some serious focused time and attention to figuring out how to use it to make images. For those who might wonder why, I had 2 reasons. Reason number 1 was professional development. I'm a narrative designer, a wordsmith who operates in the video games industry. When I am working on a team of any size, a certain amount of my time and energy every day has to be spent in communicating my ideas to other people. To do this, I use whatever tools are available to create documents and decks, slideshows, which summarize and illustrate my ideas about characters, story beats, world building, and lore in a game universe. I often need images to communicate my ideas, not just words. I've been doing this job for over 20 years, and I've worked alongside many amazing artists. Some were my colleagues in-house, doing concept art and 2D, 3D assets for games on a full-time basis. Others were freelance artists who signed on with me part-time when I was acting as my team's outsourced art director, particularly on the Sword of the Stars series. Over time, I developed considerable patience and competence in writing briefs and summaries, assembling visual references, and working through the stages of concepting with artists doing 2D and 3D work. But I have discovered that there can be profound misalignments of vision between people who tend to think in words, word people, and people who tend to think visually, picture people. Since AI art generators literally function by bridging the gap between words and pictures, and since all the skills I've developed working with real human artists are very similar to the skills needed to work well with AI, I thought I should give it a whirl. Reason number 2 for studying Midjourney can be summed up as know thine enemy. I love and respect human artists. My mother and my daughter are both lifelong creators in visual media. I tried many kinds of visual art myself, including textile painting, etc., and I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars supporting visual artists in various ways over the years, from funding their Patreons to commissioning their work while doing pre-production or spin-off projects as a game developer. In order to assess Midjourney as a threat to the livelihoods and property rights of human artists, I had to see how it works, and specifically what it can and cannot do. I wanted to see what it could accomplish, where it struggled and failed, what its limits might be, and perhaps more importantly, how fast it could learn and improve. In the past 30 days or so, as beta versions of the various AI art generators have become more and more powerful, the conversation about their impacts on the world around us is definitely coming to a head. At this year's Colorado State Fair, an AI-generated work of art won a jury digital art contest, defeating human artists using other digital tools. An AI art generator has produced the cover art of a Big Five book and graced the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine. Author and artist Ursula Vernon has created some beautiful and profound webcomics using a combination of AI-generated art and backgrounds, as well as her own drawing and graphic design skills. Science fiction writer John Scalzi has posted his thoughts about exploring AI art, followed quickly by an update renouncing public exploration of AI art when it was used for a book cover. So, it is probably past time for me to start talking seriously about AI-generated art rather than just sharing the results of my experiments. And what we're going to look at in a little bit is like her sharing of some of these different creators, and these are her own creations using her own face as a starting point. Excuse me. And I requested specific permission to use her Facebook in this discussion, and I also, her profile is public, so I'm not sharing any information that I shouldn't. Some people really don't know what it is, how it works, and what we should do about its disruptive effects on human artists. Hint, it's probably the same thing we need to do for human workers in any field. More on this later. For those who might be wondering how we got here technologically and legally, the first thing you need to know about AI art generator is how it produces an image. So how it works. To do its magic, any given AI art generator needs a pair of To do its magic, any given AI art generator needs a pair of neural nets. One side of the bot has to be trained to understand human languages. The other side has to be trained to understand and produce imagery of some kind. In some respects, an AI art generator very much mimics the functioning of a real human brain. Our linguistic, rational, and daydreaming visual cortices are similarly divided. The linguistic side of the bot uses its training to interpret a prompt, a word or series of words, and break it down into a series of information tags which are handed over to the visual side of the bot to serve as the guidelines to assemble an asset, an image. One of the reasons I like Midjourney is that the AI always makes 4 attempts at generating an image from any given prompt, producing quick thumbnails, which the human user then has a chance to use, reject completely, or modify by making variations. When the linguistic data is transferred to the artistic side of the bot, however, you can often see the imperfections in the communication between the two sides of the AI's brain. For example, when I entered the following simple prompt into Midjourney today, this was the output. Prompt is a brown-skinned woman with red hair standing in a field of wildflowers. If I change my settings to a previous version of Midjourney, I can see the artistic growth of the AI over the past several months. Here's what the same prompt would have given me with the version of Midjourney that was available in July 2022. And going back in time when I first joined the beta test group, here's the thumbnails the bot could have given me back in April. As you can see, at various stages of history, Midjourney has struggled mightily with the production of human features, and it still struggles. With facial symmetry of people and animals, and complex features such as hands, paws, tails, and other extremities, even in version 4. Artists who work with the bot often have to spend a certain amount of time correcting the wonky elements of its outputs. The more time they spend making the corrections, the better result looks. So I want to show you in my Discord, in the art section, studio mode, window capture, Discord. No, let's do alt, make small, alt, make small, alt, make small, whole thing, make big. Okay, so I created, you have the ability to invite Midjourney into your server rather than go to the Midjourney server in order to create visuals. And the Midjourney Discord server is kind of chaotic. I was overwhelmed by all the things that were going on, so I I did this instead. So I added 3 prompts. And if you're in the server, if you join, or if you're in the Discord, if you join the Discord, you will have access to use this. It's not a shared account. So, like, if I were to pay for it, you don't have that access. Everything you do is related to you. And there's like a limited number of uses or some shenanigans. Not sure. I haven't gotten that far yet. But you do /imagine. Like, if I were to do / and then the word imagine without the space in between the / and imagine, then, oh, it didn't. Yeah, it just ignored my command. Okay, so you know what a / is, and you know what the fucking word imagine is. Followed by, it'll create a little box where you can put in prompts. And I put in Cyberpunk, World War I, and gas mask. Right? And this is what we came up with. Right? And then, like, these are pretty cool. Right? But off jump, I can see. Let me play with this so I can really zoom in. Oh, there goes Alina. So if I go here, it generated a picture and threw off my thing. Alina is real time messing with my stream. Sabotage. Listen, all y'all, this is sabotage. Can't stand it. I don't know, planned it. I wanted to zoom in on this one because this is where I see a flaw, basically, right? Whatever this pink shit is, it's not connected to anything. It just kind of like exists in the space, but this, like, it doesn't, like, some of them, there's weird shit attached to other weird shit, and that's fine, right? But this is just kind of like here. You get a better resolution if you actually go look at it in the Discord, but it so this was kind of gunky, right? But we like to party. We like to party. And you can see it a little bit here. This structure here, how it it's kind of just weird, right? It's not as profound, and especially, like, one of the things is that we understand about viewing visual art is how it not everything is not every point of detail is intended to be seen, like, really up close. Like, some of the detail you're supposed to. What are we doing? Some of the detail is you are supposed to be at a distance to it, you know? Now, this one, these, we'll look at both these. both these are pretty damn cool, right? I like this. This one has like a fighter pilot kind of look to it, in addition to being the gas mask. Not real cyberpunky, but I like this a lot, right? And this one, it's got like digital shit happening in the eye, which give it that, you know, the cyberpunky feel. So it's like, it's cyberpunk, but in the, you know, the toxic pollution hell of a future kind of thing, right? Real doomer shit. And like, I mean, this is totally serviceable, you know? Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of the flaws that you see on some of this stuff disappear at a certain scale. What's up, Maddie? Long time no see. Old steampunk, cyberpunk by the way of League of Legends cartoon. Sure, absolutely. It's good to see. I always enjoy seeing people I haven't seen on the Twitch in a minute. You know, still alive, still trucking, still doing the thing. So like, and this was a 3-word prompt. Like, if I go, I probably fucked up my whole window capture now. Oh, goddamn, Alina. Can I just like Control Z all the way back to hell on this? Yes, I can. Yeah, no, but I'm talking about what you did here. These are like, you know, magical forest spirit antlers, creepy. Hit the right button. No. There we go. I mean, yeah, this is like creepy as fuck. Right? This is definitely something like I would expect this on like a magic card or something of that nature. You know? It is pretty dope. And well, that's the question, Maddie. Like, is like Ghost Deer, you know, something like that would be the card. Or a King of the Forest dead and it's a legend. Let me finish unfucking my window. Did I go too far? I did not. We're back. Okay. So like there is a question of yeah, like it's overdone for you because you are adjacent to the space, right? That would search for such an image, but like there are a bunch of people who like never see shit like that, you know? So it's like you know, but so like one of the kind of jumping around here, but like here's Gardner C. Brooks. They created these images, and one of the points that Aaron was trying to make here. Again, one of the most powerful possible uses of this tool is to empower people to create beauty that don't fucking do that. One of the most powerful great beauty that the current system does not and will not generate for profit. This was posted by a black artist who works in another medium, photography. The fact that he could use the AI as a tool to achieve his vision of black characters in fantasy worlds is not surprising to me at all. And I expect to see it happen more and more often as the tool improves and the community expands. To the critics of AI-generated art, let me ask you some questions. Who is going to create these lushly detailed, beautiful, and visionary images of black people in fantasy worlds if not for this artist using this tool? Because I'll tell you this for free, as a person who has worked in the gaming industry for over 2 decades, it was never going to be Blizzard Activision. Not ever. Until an artist like this came along and kicked them in the ass by doing it for them. If they were ever going to do it on their own, they would have done it by now, and he wouldn't have had to bother. Who is doing this combination of subject and treatment in other media? And if other black artists are making images of black people in fantasy worlds, are they harmed by this art? Or will they feel empowered to do more, raise the ante on the images they create, the clients they seek, and the tools they are willing to incorporate in their practice? Example, would love to see detailed 3D models of these characters, would love to see an entire game dominated by these characters, set in a world that could contain them. Right? And, like, we're going to look at these. Right? Did I... Dude. Okay, it's my Friday night D&D group. Flying through someone else's Facebook, but I know it's nice to know that you can. Okay, there was a start. So this is Thrall. The artist's name is Crush Rush. This is Thrall, leader of the Earthen Ring. Right? Cenarius, Lord of the Forest. Uther the Lightbringer, the first paladin. It's badass. I love a good hammer. Arthas Menethil, Crown Prince of Lordaeron. And I love combo weapons like this, right? The hammer did look a little 2D. Yes, it is FB Messenger, because I don't normally Knife Edge. I don't normally have Facebook open, and because Facebook is open and people are messaging me, I am they're showing up on screen, and that's lovely. But I love combo weapons like this. You know, like I'm gonna take half of one weapon and add it to half of another weapon or hold another weapon. This is like a Gladius on the bottom, and this is like this is AI art, yes. Lady Sylvanas Windrunner. Oh, and I love that. Like, in an adventure that I played in many moons ago. If you want to talk about there's an issue with this, I can see there's a curvature to this sword that shouldn't be there, right? But I mean, let's be real. Let's not. There's all sorts of little weird things within the art. This looks cool, but it looks kind of derivative. All uniqueness is like depending on which artist you talk to, is like almost impossible, right? Everything is derivative. You know, everything comes from what has come before it. Every artist is influenced by whatever artists they have seen before. It just feels like they downloaded the past few years of popular art styles to get there. In a very real sense, that's exactly correct. But even if they had done this all with their own hand digitally, that is also true, right? What is hot? What did they interact with? Will determine what they do now. Like music does this and art does this and all the things. It's interesting because no artist would make those same mistakes while being at the level that they could render it like that. This is true, right? Like there are aspects of it because if you can get this level of detail in this pauldron, you are going to have a nice straight sword, right? Unless it's intended to be. Because this sword actually looks like it's carved out of stone. And like, especially with the variations along the flute here. So maybe I'm reading it wrong and that it's supposed to look like that, you know? Because the handle is very straight. The point going from here in the middle of the guard and here to this point is... It runs a very straight line. So who knows? Do we sixth finger? 1, 2, 3, 4 thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe. I mean, I've got this little meat thing that shows up right here when I make a fist. So, you know, but like, again, I like this kind of weapon. My dude had short swords, but like, if you know what a claymore looks like, it has really long, guards coming off the sides, right? So it was a short sword with long guards and like a hand and a half on the handle so that it was like a pair of size but different. I thought that was like, you know, my kind of, this is a smooth looking dude. Anduin, like to talk about derivative, right? When I look at something like Athras Menethil, Crown Prince of Lord Aeron, this to me is like, you know, you just straight Tolkien vibes, right? This is an elf name from some straight Tolkien vibes, but Tolkien is an influential writer, right? There are so many books that are variations of what Tolkien did with Lord of the Rings, right? Now, before Tolkien, there wasn't a lot of that. After Tolkien, there came a lot of that. So there can only be one first, and then everything after that is kind of derivative, you know? You're going to get very few, especially as time goes on and the fields get more saturated, very few firsts, right? And I don't need you to give me a first. What I need you to give me is good and make me feel something, you know? But this isn't a matter of where people wrote draw stuff where they acid washed off the VIN number from the original artwork. I mean, it's not like the AI just creates a 1-to-1 copy of somebody else's art. They are amalgamations, right? And your art, if you are an artist, your style is an amalgamation of all the other styles that you interacted with, plus some personal eccentricities. People are more concerned with the economic fallout as much as the artistic ripoff. 100%, and this is one of those things where it's like, the running joke is in each of these episodes. We're on episode 11 at this point. Spoiler alert, it's capitalism. You know, you don't hate Mondays, you hate capitalism. If the artists were taken care of the same as everyone else, then there wouldn't be an issue. Someone is writing straight fanfic or fan art, they're still creating their own stuff, their own universe, plot. They are to an extent, except what they are doing is a combination of everything that they've, incorporated into themselves, right? Whether it's, a particular writing style, whether it's a particular kind of content. A lot of fanfic is based off of someone else's creation, right? Like the whole concept of shipping fanfic, where you get your two characters and you make them have a relationship. Like, these are all derivative without using derivative as a pejorative. What's original though? It's not. That's what I'm saying though. There is no original. There are remixes. There are, blends. There are, twists and turns. Original is incredibly rare, especially at this point. There you go, right? Tolkien ripped off, Celtic, Norse, Anglo-Saxon, Germanic mythology. So, like, the only people who have a claim on originality are, like, the first people, right? Oh, again, if you want to complain about stuff, the fact that this collar blends a little too into this book, but again, art is a thing. This dude's pretty cool. And here's another thing. Like, this dude's name is Dalrend, right? With an apostrophe in between Dal and Rend. This is, like, if you want to make your person the bad guy, drop an apostrophe in their name. Original meaning that they created themselves. They're not just typewriting out the Lord of the Ring novels. Mythology is vast and diverse if they were using that mechanic. Okay, but like, they created it themselves. The AI is creating art itself, right? Based on that prompt, right? It is drawing from all its sources, and it isn't just copying and pasting someone else's already created image, Oh, so then we're on the same page. Okay, Elite Tauren Chieftain. Tauren is straight out of WoW, right? But beyond that, this is kind of cool. Yes, so we're on the same page. It's sometimes difficult to tell. Now, are there any number of flaws in this guitar neck, right? Or this kind of weird space right here? What's an HSAU fanfic? You think we're not saying the same thing? Okay. What do you think that I'm saying? High school alternative reality fanfic. Level-headedest. Everything is derivative. Like, how, explain, like you said, Tolkien is derivative of European mythologies. What is the spark of originality? Yeah, okay, so this is intentional. This is Ogrimmar. So, I have a story to tell and I'm going to tell it this way. Sure, but the story itself has probably already been told. Right? This is the concept of tropes. You know, when you have enough tropes. Well, fun fact, my mom passed away when I was 19, so the derivative there would be that your stream is dead. So, burn. Like, I love this. There's so much going on here. Yep, here it is. It would be impossible for something to be 100% original at this point in history. You would have to take a person from birth, raise them in a box, and then ask them to create new art. Original this. But the act of creating a new narrative or story is not just A plus B plus story. No, I'm not making it sound like I apologize if I'm coming across that like it's easy. Now there is a whole fuck ton of visual medium like movies and TV shows that are actually created with that A plus B equals story methodology, right? Have you ever been sitting and watching a movie and like you're predicting everything that's going to happen because it's very formulaic, right? You already know the tropes, you know the styles, you know what's going to happen. There are no surprises here. It's one of the main critiques of all the Avengers stuff is how there's not really anything original happening, anything interesting. There are full-on professional TV shows and movies where the fanfic is better than the actual canon. Absolutely. Because I will give you that a lot of that has to do with passion, right? Where I made this this is a metaphor that I have for a lot of music that gets created. Say whatever you want about Dave Matthews Band. Their first album was their best because it had a lot of like impact and passion in it because they were hungry. Then they got money and then they weren't hungry anymore, and it's why their music fell off. And I feel this applies to a majority of bands where their first album is probably their best one. What I'm saying is that this AI stuff is ultimately a computer program. So there's a saying that the first record is written over a lifetime, the second is written in 6 months. 100%. What does it matter that the AI stuff is a computer program? Does it invalidate the art? Is it no longer an act of creation? The AI doesn't spontaneously create this art. See, there's another goddamn apostrophe. I wasn't just making the shit up. If you want your guy to be a bad guy, just find a space between two syllables, drop an apostrophe in there, done. And there's probably, like, if I thought about it and constructed my thoughts together, there's something also about starting your name with a vowel, especially like A's and E's, starting them with like the M and N sounds, starting them with K sounds and C's. Like, here's a female character with with an A vowel at the beginning, Rexstar. Like, he's a hero, but he's got the X's in there, right? Double X's, automatically a badass dude. Because the AI stuff will never be an active creation. Can't say never, but go off. It won't evolve as an artist or push boundaries. It might influence others, but it won't break outside of its program. That is true. It cannot break outside of its program. Maybe it will in the future, okay. But it's still all built on previous artists and creators. Like, yes, these are definitely WoW characters. Like, I picked that up partway through. Like, this artist is heavily influenced by WoW as one of their influences. You know, it's like that kind of thing. I make the claim that all art is built on previous artists and creators, right? There's another female character whose name starts with an A. It's built on that, but it doesn't stop there. Like, I'm. Are you talking about how the artist can change over time? Because the AI changes over time. Sure, but like, if a particular fanfic, right? Okay, so you are talking about all of fanfic when you use that terminology, right? If we're talking a particular author of a particular fanfic, that particular author is influenced by what they're writing their fanfic about, then if that fanfic, it's not their first piece. So there's a bunch of stuff that comes before that, you know, influence what the later iteration of the fanfic became. The same is true with an AI. The AI that you're seeing today is the children and grandchildren of the machine learning that came before. I use fanfic a lot because it's unbound by profit, corporate gatekeeping, even taste. 100%. Like, I'm with you on that. And that is one of the aspects of AI art that could fall into a similar line, right? Is there something that I've said on previous To the Stars? I'm gonna say no. To the Stars. If I did, is a book or TV show? Oh, no. I don't tend to read fanfics. Oh, you're talking to Maddie. This previous machine learning stuff was still guided by its programmers and creators. And every child that's born is guided by its parents, and, you know, it's the same thing. Okay, so this, what you're saying is about a question of ethics, right? I would, and I say that I'm a parent of 3 children. I would absolutely go that far. Because a lot of what we do to our children, beyond teaching them overtly about the goods and evils and how to be as like that, the opportunities that we present them with, all these kind of things. There's also a ton of our own neuroses and insecurities that we can put into our children because we're not aware of them. And it requires a whole bunch of therapy to undo that shit in order to think about that when you're going forward. But I argue that it's not as different as you want it to be to make that statement. But if this guy dyed upload his art and incorporated it into your stuff, is exactly how every single artist who derives a portion of their influence from artists operates. They download that shit into their brain and it bounces off the other shit that's in their brain and comes out with a new piece. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, you think it's meaningfully different. There's a lot of words coming out of my mouth. Which particular aspect of what I said is meaningfully different? Yeah, Ragnaros right there. All right, so that's the end of that. That was pretty cool. Like, you know, again, if you want to play around with Midjourney in an environment, and Alina's just popping off already. Like I said earlier, that a human with their develops wouldn't make the same mistakes an AI does. Okay. Do you know who Rob Liefeld is? This is Rob Liefeld. Right? He is a comic book artist. I'm specifically talking to Alina because of you're being incredibly generous to Rob. Okay. So Rob ignited an entire style of art related to the mid-90s ultra-violent comic books of Image, right? And there's a lot of tropes that you see. Oh, okay. I got you. The specific thing I want to talk about is Rob Liefeld and feet. Rob had a tendency to hide feet because he was not, like, I'm literally getting a phone call from Covert Donald. Not even trying. Rob is not good at drawing feet. Right? The point that I'm trying to make regarding that is that this slight curvature of the sword is like, I mean, these look like the wrong feet. Like, this should be the right foot and this should be the left, right? Like, this is, just compare those two as far as it goes. And Rob was immensely successful, right? Because people were willing, myself included, willing to overlook the weird shit in order to get some really interesting character concepts that Rob put out. Let's give Levelhead a chance to chime in. I agree about music being all derivative done before. That's only from a notation and composition standpoint, though. What makes it unique, with the band at least, are the way musicians' different influences mesh. 100%. This is exactly the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Is Project Hawkeye related to Rob Liefeld? Do I want to? Is that AI doesn't act sufficiently different to me from the way that people do, and the way that we combine, right? This is another thing. Hawkeye Initiative. Okay, I'll look at it. I wanted to touch on this. This is another thing about how Rob. This is it. Or this is not it. Okay, we'll get there in a second. Just the weird curvature of the spine, right? Probably not the most safe for work stream. Okay, then I won't. I'll look at it later. The way that he drew women's spine. Oh, okay, yeah. But the way that Rob Liefeld had of drawing these spines, people don't function like this. And then one of his most famous ones is this Captain America, right? Like, this is one of those things that when people dog on the weird artifacts that show up on the AI art, like, this is Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld, he's got a net worth of $2 million, right? I don't know about you, but I don't have a net worth of $2 million. So who am I to judge Rob? You know? It's like forgiven value, right? Like, however accurate this website is and everything else. Yeah, no, like, I owned a lot of Rob's books. He actually came back and did another stint in Marvel. And I can't go back to reading him because of how I've changed as a reader, right? Rob's vibe is not my vibe anymore. Now I'm more into yeah, exactly. Doritos Extra Extreme. That's Rob still to this day. And like that. And I was a huge fan of pouches on belts. There's just, like, I've found new people telling more interesting stories and better artists that I'm a huge fan of. Like, hold on. I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, okay. You trying to correct me? I knew who I was talking about. Okay, so this is, let me show you a style of art in comic books that I really enjoy. Is the work of Alan Davis. Okay. Alan Davis has a very good proportions. The people look like people, and like that, except like his smiles always look like this. Like these three different characters, they all have the same smile and that fused teeth, top and bottoms. Right? So there's definitely things I could critique about Alan Davis, but I love Alan Davis. Even let's dog out this Captain America. Like this is an incredibly awkward position. The rest of them look like comic book stuff, but this looks like he's having a bad time here. Like the center of gravity is all off and everything else. So even somebody that I truly enjoy their work is he's not perfect. One of my favorite. What up, Arvin? And then there are terrible. I'm judging, but there some really not good. Oh, did we cancel? Hold on. Yep. Okay, they canceled D&D. I really go with the flow on the entire thing. You know what I mean? Modern comics are what, 90 years old now? There's going to be some really bad art. There's plenty of bad art, right? There are plenty of. We gotta get back to where I want to be here. There are plenty of artists who created stuff through comic books, and their art, it just doesn't appeal to me. There's a bunch of characters that I don't particularly like either. Jesus Christ, I've forgotten how Facebook works. But it's by the same token, like look at this, right? Jack Kirby. I'm a fan of Jack Kirby because two Nazis showed up at the office. They called up and said, "There's two guys down here going to beat you up, two Nazis or whatever." And he fucking rolled up his sleeves and went down to talk to him. It was like, fucking Jack Kirby's weird. But yeah, like, there's some of Jack Kirby's work that I'm not a huge fan of. Like, his particular art style is not my art style. I just like Kirby, the man himself, but like this art style, right? It's weird. Like the art lines don't match up, but we allow for this because of what we perceive the entire art style to be. So, yeah, no, I like that, and like this, what's his? I can't remember this guy's. Alex Ross, thank you. Alex Ross does the painted style, right? And it has a certain vibe to it, right? Like his style makes them look very human, right? Like if you look at the way that this material gathers on these people, and like the wrinkles that they have. He's very good at making them look human, like people. You know what I mean? And I enjoy his style. I don't want to say realistic. Like I specifically avoided that, but like yes, for a given definition of that. So this is Aaron using, not hyper realistic. Mid-Journey Madness, the sometimes insane, sometimes hilarious results of your own drawings as prompts. So one of the many suggested uses of Midjourney is to make it an instructor, collaborator, or art coach. The AI technology has access to thousands of years worth of human art in every medium. So why not see if it can comment and offer ways to improve your own sketches? Perhaps it could have suggestions as to how to better render your piece. Thinking now, Alina, about like, again, the curvature of the sword and everything else. This is when the AI incorporates the things that it thinks you're asking for. It doesn't necessarily know why, like if it were to reach out and just broad stroke, if it were to reach out and grab an impressionist piece and a cubist piece, it wouldn't know why those two pieces shouldn't go together, because it doesn't have the contextual frame of reference as to why we don't think that they should go together. So it's possible that on a particular piece of AI art, it is doing what it can do based on what context it does understand. And again, it's like, if you allow for the age of the thing as a direct one-to-one comparison with a human, which you really can't, because they live at a different speed, so to speak, then the AI is quite young and is still very skilled in a lot of ways and needs to be taught how to be better at those skills. Sorry, I had my eyes closed. Goes back to, can it be true to a human experience? It can't be true to a human experience because it will never be human unless we do the thing that Zilla said that we should not do, which is to teach the hammer to suffer, right? However, if our art is an expression of our experiences and it is taking our art to make new art, theoretically, we can teach it to simulate to a certain extent that human experience. Now, how close it can get, that's part of what we're talking about. Like, what defines the human experience that the computer can't know when the creation or when the existence of the art is beyond the artist's creation. We're also discussing things in terms of monetary. I'm avoiding the monetary aspect of it because, like, it's a really simple answer that no one is going to do, right? At this point in time, in the here and now, the today and tomorrow, right? No one is going to address the real questions behind the questions that people are asking of human art versus AI art. And that is a question of capitalism and people, and how people should be able to eat and not have to compete with the AI, and the AI should not have to compete with people, and they should be able to develop alongside each other and, have the various aspects contained therein. no one is going to have that conversation except for people who are already having that conversation, right? If an artist is getting put out of work because of the AI and they can't eat, the problem is that they can't eat because they don't have the resources. And those resources can be provided by society. We just don't care enough as a society to do that. It has nothing to do with the AI. It could be anything else, right? If an artist can't afford pencils, then they can't create their art. It's again a problem of the resources available provided by the society. We're also discussing an even artistic value, but AI art also ignores the racist transgressive art of political art and rebellious art. I don't believe that it does. I literally made ChatGPT create a song about Blair Mountain, the Battle of Blair Mountain, and the Battle of Blair Mountain song was as good as anything that I've heard from anyone else write a song about Blair Mountain. It's the original Luddite pushback against high-end loom work and weaving. What is? The fact that we can't let technology exist? Of course, you'll still need a verbal prompt to kick the machine into action because it can't do pure image-to-image generation. So in the case of this drawing, I use the following prompt. Line drawing of a stern, elderly queen in battle armor holding a spear and standing beside a huge, proud royal dragon with wings spread, pen and ink, AR 3-2. Yes, it's true that I could have used a better and more accurate descriptive prompt, but the purpose of this exercise wasn't to test the language processing of the AI, but to see whether Midjourney could read my drawing and my intentions as easily as a professional human artist could, given my simple concept piece and the simple prompt. The answer? No. Not a pen and ink, anyway. On the human artist's worst day, they would still have done better. I will post Midjourney's attempt to grapple with my drawing in the comments. Be prepared. And yeah, we come to check the comments. Oh yeah. Here's a few thumbnails of ways to make the drawing better. The idea I like best is to just make the queen and the dragon the same person. Check this out. Right? So this is what the AI did, is it combined the dragon and the queen together. It is still working on it. You know, it is still trying its best. No, it wasn't about being against technology. The Luddites was a labor protest against losing high-paying jobs due to okay. Yes. Yeah, I mean that's really what it comes down to. It's like the technology is not the problem. It's that people don't want to have the real conversations about what the real problems are. They want to talk about symptoms and not diseases, right? We need to talk about diseases, or we're just going to be treating these same symptoms over and over and over and over again. And as we established earlier on, the fourth industrial revolution, or the AI revolution, or the machine learning revolution, or however you want to put it, is not creating enough new jobs. It's not creating any new jobs in excess of what are already there, right? Where previous technology innovations have created new jobs and new fields and all this other stuff, there's going to be less and less of that until it eventually drops to zero. And it only takes the automation to be as good as or slightly better than the people for it to make sense to use the automation. And one of the pressures of that will come from things like insurance companies. Replacing the person who is vulnerable to all sorts of different issues, whether it's from health insurance or liability insurance or all those kind of things, with a piece of equipment that, if properly maintained, will act with intolerances. This is a no-brainer for an insurance company. And if a business can save money on insurance, then they will do so, and they will automate that job. This is one of the ways it's going to work. It's why there was such a big push for the automation of the transport industry, is because of the savings in insurance and like that. You don't have to worry about the truck driver staying up too late trying to push that load in order to make that bread, and driving off the road or smacking into something and being a liability for both the company with the loss of the product and all the other shit that goes with that. This is an automated vehicle, right? Yes, will the automated vehicles have problems? Yes, but they only have to be just a bit better than the humans in the aggregate, and that job is gone. So we're going to continue to have these same conversations every time automation comes up against what people do, until we start looking at the actual questions that need to be asked and the actual problems that are causing these conversations to be had. Because if you just think about it, like, if there was a social safety net, you would still have people claiming that AI art wasn't art. And they would be the same people or adjacent to the people who think that digital creators aren't real artists. Yeah, 100%, Maddie. I don't know why we can't get these people to understand that, but we're still fucking having this same fucking problem. But yeah. What else do we got? So 2.3 billion human-made images were used to teach the AI what an image is. Every human being who interacts with the AI once it began generating images has been teaching the bot how to please us and what human beings want to see. Every time we use it, we're telling it what is beautiful, interesting, funny, cute, moving, what is art. And this is also an aspect of it, is our participation with the tool is going to influence how the tool evolves, right? And it's especially important with AI. It is easy for a person who has had the time, money, and physical ability to become a professional artist to tell us that this new tool is evil and that real artists should retain their monopoly on creating visual images that have an aesthetic or commercial value. But are they in the right? I'm not sure. And what gives me doubts is not just that the AI is a fun toy or that I've made some art I like with it. I'm dubious because this is not the first disruptive technology I've seen in my lifetime. I remember a time before there was such a thing as digital art at all. I remember a time before there was such a thing as digital photography. Yeah, if you didn't work with film, you don't even know, right? Like, film is a whole other animal when it comes to photography. Like my high school at the time was, it was in a upper middle class suburb, so we had a fairly decent like shop class, right? I learned photography all the way up to developing. I learned how to work in a printing press, like old school printing press, did silk screens. I learned a lot of different things that many of which have gone generally by the wayside and are that artisanal industry now because they've been replaced by automation. I'm rather critical of AI art as a phenomenon. It being a tool sounds pretty good to me, but I haven't seen development in that direction. Like, there is a way to make this the fanciest digital brush tool, simply thought. Well, back in this article, Arberlin, like, this is using the prompt, a brown-skinned woman with red hair standing in a field of wildflowers through Mid-Journey, right? This is from version 2 of Mid-Journey. This is the same prompt through version 3 of Mid-Journey, and this is the same prompt through version 4 of Mid-Journey, right? Again, like, we have to put the commercial issue in a separate box in order to be able to, to talk about the AI art, because it's a separate issue. The commercialization shouldn't matter. It should just be acts of creation that lead to new acts of creation. But the point is not that the economic side is the issue. The AI putting artists out of work is not the issue. The artist is not us as a society not having the social safety nets in order for that person to maintain basic food, healthcare, housing, clothing, all the things to live is the issue in that regard. Otherwise we should just stop advancing. Like, we should right now, if someone has a job in a field, no advancement, because otherwise we could put that person out of work. But we won't. What we'll do is we'll argue over this particular issue because it's an easier argument to have. It's easier for people to hate the machine than it is to actually address. Sure. Corporation's going to corporate. What up, Abrams? Corporations are going to do corporation shit because we still live in that capitalist economic model. It's going to happen everywhere. There are people within the AI industry who are doing it because they want to create something new. Right? One of the things that I've gone back to on numerous occasions is OBS. OBS is open source. I'm sure they get some money in donations and everything else. Nobody is talking about what? About how our economic and social model needs an overhaul. That's literally what I'm talking about. They're talking about the corporatization of art by creating an AI on top of AI art, poaching people's. See, but it's terminology. What is the difference? What is the fundamental difference? First off, what is the fundamental difference between what AI does with people's art and what a human does with other people's art? In that they bring it into their cognitive space and create a new thing based on those influences. But you specifically, when you use, let me not exacerbate, right? De-escalate. When you use the term poaching has an automatic negative connotation to it. The agitation this causes an opportunity to point out the flaws in our the agitation this causes is an opportunity to point out the flaws of our economic system, and it's a lot easier to argue about that than making about our IP and consciousness or in whatever. Absolutely. Right? Like that is what the argument should be. When somebody says this technology is going to put artists out of work, then the response should be that we need to fix our system so that it adequately takes care of people rather than argue over whether or not the AI is going to put people out of work. I mean, what is generally new art, or what is genuine new art, and what is taken from someone else has been an issue in art since artists signed their work. 100%. So that part is not exclusive to AI art. Exactly. One big difference is that humans are beholden to copyright, patents, trademarks, etc. Someone learning about and copying, let's say, Alex Ross is considered a personal growth, but they straight up present Alex Ross's art as Alex Ross, then they get slapped down. Yeah, but this is an economic question, right? Copyright, patents, and trademarks are all symptoms of the capitalist market. And they have continued to twist things like copyright and patents to stretch them out to unbelievable extremes in order to deny what was originally intended by the people who even created those laws. The entire point behind like 75 years plus a day is that you get compensation from that, but then it comes into the public realm so that we can take it and make a new thing out of it. An AI uploading his art and getting super close to that Alex Ross style and pumps it out to make money for a corporation and could potentially crowd out even Alex Ross. Okay? Like, if people like the art, then what's the issue? You know, if I get super close to Alex Ross, like, am I required to change it in order to appease Alex Ross? Every artist profits off other people's styles. Like, this is not a thing that does not exist. Right? There are minor variations that occur, and I'm talking in the aggregate, right? Because every so often you have someone who comes along and like does something that feels new to us, right? But in the aggregate, we're all just adding our own personal little bit of flair to this accumulation of other people's art that we've incorporated and then turned out. Making art for profit is heresy to begin with. All I care about is if we're on the path to decommodification. That is the actual solution to the actual disease. That is the cure to the disease. Because if no one needs their art to survive, then they can just create. And it's like, if you are an artist, you understand that financial choice, like, do I attempt to create a new thing knowing that I'm going to be the subject to the loss of these materials? And there's the possibility that no one is going to ever buy this piece. And I don't recoup that, what I spent from the materials. And that could prevent me from creating more art in the future because I don't have the money to buy new materials. Right? It's different with the digital artist, but often digital artists are subject to ridiculous prices for the piece of software. And they are thankful for people who do open source shit. You know? And if you used an open source piece of digital software to create a piece of art that you then sold, isn't there an obligation to cut out a chunk of that and send it to the people and donate to the people who created the open source art? Maybe. Does it happen? Not as often as it should then. But that argument is never had. People are just happy to have finally sold something. One more thing, many artists are making a living are already burned by theft in other online spaces. I feel this matters to the reception of AI art. Yeah, before we got into this, like in the previous couple of years or two, like there was definitely the thing, especially with the advent of the whole, drop shipping t-shirt market, is where you would create a t-shirt, put it up on, whatever, it would get scraped by a Chinese company, and then, they'd be selling the same t-shirt, but at a lesser thing and using your art without compensation. Immediately after that, we got into this AI discussion, which the tone of the entire thing was kind of poisoned. The irony is that I've been wrapping art supplies in paper for my mother this whole time. That's beautiful. Respect. Krita user and grateful. It ain't perfect, but if I Photoshop, but F Photoshop. Krita. I always like learning new things. Krita. She's not making money on it. She uses art therapy. And that is the purity of... Yeah, dope. Thank you, Arbuin. That is what art should be at its core, right? Art at its core should be about you and the piece. The artist and the art at its core. You expressing something that you feel needs to be expressed. And you will use whatever tools that are necessary to get as close as you can to that vision that you have. Right? I will use Midjourney to get these ideas that I have in my head into the world. I will use epoxy and paint and mica powder and whatever tools in order to get these into the world. Because that is what the art is about. And then if somebody else feels a connection with that art, that is wonderful. But they are not going to have the same connection that I did with the art. One of the tropes is that the artist judge the people who buy his art, their art, because you don't understand my art, right? Y'all know Basquiat? What up, Revolutionary Underground? Everything is good. We are using AI and art as a platform to talk about overturning the social and economic systems. Michael Basquiat. Jean Michael Basquiat. All right. So like So you look at this, right? Like, one thing I am certain of when I look at this is that Basquiat and this canvas, whatever it was made of, he had a moment, right? He had an experience. There was something within him that is now here, right? But there are a huge amount of people who aren't going to get anything from this at all. The fact that it is, excuse me, the fact that it is a Basquiat adds some intrinsic value to it, which it shouldn't. Every piece should exist on its own if that is, you know. You could get some additional value from this if you could ask Basquiat, explain this to me. I'd say I got a lot more from this than any of those AI pieces we were looking at earlier. Why? Because you know it was created by a human? It comes and goes. Or are you talking about the ones that were like derivative of WoW? There's still recognizable symbols in this, an emotional message. Is there? You feel something. I'm not saying that you don't, right? You look at this, you feel something. Someone else could look at this and feel nothing. What message you get is about you. The combination of recognizable symbols are what make the connection. Not just me, but my connection to the artist. Yeah, like, and that's the thing, is art is contextual, right? And the appreciation of the art is contextual. There are elements to art a particular piece, that knowing more about it can enhance your appreciation of it, right? But let's see what this does. See what we end up with. Artist influenced by Basquiat. No. Go away. Basquiat. Kahlo. Okay. Remove Chatterino. Genesis Tremaine. From Brooklyn. Art doesn't even need to have a message. It can also just express the artist or the artist themselves. Yes. I feel like like if we're going to talk about what a message in art, let's say all art has an agenda, right? You don't speak unless you have an agenda. And there is an agenda in every piece of art. You are trying to express a thought when you create a piece of art. Because if you didn't have one, you probably wouldn't be, right? What up, pseudonym? So the act of creation requires a motivation. So I appreciate you. I would say that every piece of art does have a message, even if the message is like not necessarily like, yeah, like, I mean, there's a portion of you that is trying to express something, So, you look at the work of Basquiat and you look at the work of Genesis Tremaine. Why isn't Genesis Tremaine just as successful as Basquiat? Okay. Right. There's a there's a there's a particular way of seeing the world that comes across in people's art. And some of it may connect with you and some of it may not. Yeah. Like there are different aspects of art that appeal to different people, right? Like that, like in my experience, this is something that I would lean towards saying was original, right? It's not in that they are masks created and hung on a wall, right? Which is a common art motif throughout history. but the size of them and probably the material used to create them is is particularly interesting. You can zoom in. And I tend to like things that are either very big or very small, right? Like a small thing that is large or a large thing that is small. This appeals to me. Tiny mountains and giant ants. But now, like, can no one ever do this again? If you look at this and you want to create your own, people will say you're derivative of Tao Lewis. Because Tao Lewis did it first, even though they did not. They just did it this particular way first. And nothing against Tao Lewis. I appreciate the fact that they did this. But like, we seem to like to apply limiters when we want, and other times we just let shit run. Oh, I figured as much. Yes, you have. Holy shit. All right. Hold up. Yeah, no, we definitely need some scalloped potatoes to go with this ham, because, all right, here we go, chat. I didn't see anything that was POS. Let me kind of get you a zoomy zoom. All right, so that was mine. And since then, okay. Content trigger warning, weird shit, trypophobia, any of that, or pop, whatever that, with all fucking holes might freak you out. Speaking of AI and prompts, can someone picture the peaceful end of capitalism? Maybe the AI got something. I believe that on a long enough timeline, a combination of AI automation, 3D printing is going to create a situation whereby it forces everyone up and down the thing to change in order to change the system. So, but yeah, I have Midjourney available if anybody wants to use it in my Discord. Join the Discord, play with the AI thing. Okay, so we've got let's see where that lines up so I can just do the one thing. So we got Magical Forest Spirit Antlers Creepy, which sounds like the name of a friggin' it's different now. Mechanization created additional jobs and additional fields. AI and the new automation and everything else isn't doing that. And then we have hands made of hands made of hands. Full body action shot, clean luminescent magical gun. That's definitely an anime title. variations on that prompt. Anime girl, translucent, clean, intense perspective. Anime Ghibli, luminescent, gun action shot. Yeah, no, I got you. Oh God, it's the hands. It Rob Liefeld. Just remember, or Liefeld. Remember Rob Liefeld. Anime Ghibli, Bridgeman, gun action shot, luminescence. I like some of the like this, like if you had, what was the one? Like, come on, with the dude in all black with the mask, and then the weird granny one. My brain is just broken today. What's the name of the movie? Ghibli movie. In the big white dragon at the end. Spirited Away. Thank you. Spirited Away, right? But with more guns. or Princess Mononoke, but with more guns. You know, it's like. Anatomy sketch diagram clean. These are cool. Question: did you notice an improvement in the quality of hands when you chose the no, but like more guns, you know, and like techie guns and shit. But did you notice an improvement in the hands when you included anatomy sketch in here? Like, I can't really see. I mean, they look better. Oh, they do not look better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm telling you, right? The 6-fingered hand is superior, right? The 2 thumbs. I told you that. Anatomy sketch diagram clean. Action shot, falling line of action, katana clean. Yeah. My boy Butler is going to love playing with this. Action shot, falling line of action, katana clean. AI won't kill us. It'll just re-engineer us to have 2 thumbs. Like, I'm good. Female cell line, shaded line of action, upward perspective, katana translucent. It's definitely, like, I think we're beyond questioning whether or not it's good for prompts, because it's absolutely good for prompt. This is Legion, right? If you know who Legion is, the comic book character, the TV show, this right here. This is Legion. This is Legion. These bottom 2. I like this. Mental health, queer, stylized, simple 2D swords and halos. And it gives you Hercules from the cartoon movie. What's up with that? This is cool, though. And this, yeah, hands made of hands made of hands. This is this is crazy. Hands made of hands. Yeah. No, these are really cool. These are really cool. Okay. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm. Oh, y'all can't see the. Started making birds out of the hands. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. Very, very wild. Okay. That's gonna have to be it for me today. I hope y'all have a wonderful whatever it is you're having, whether it's like Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever, Festivus for the rest of us. Like, do you? I appreciate the shit out of you. I will be back on Monday. Yay! Just in time for the raid. And did you send that? Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about AI, art, any of that related stuff, I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Anytime next week. I want to get as many perspectives as people who want to put them out there. So do that. But I gotta go. I'm gonna cough my ass off again shortly.